Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel. You can also check me out on Spotify. However you're listening to my voice, I appreciate it. Let's jump right into it. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. I just got used to calling her Mercedes Moné, but I think she's going back to the WWE. I actually already talked about this last podcast, but she's out of her contract with Bushiroad, so she's not wrestling for New Japan or Stardom anymore. Dave Meltzer says that the match with Julia is off the table, and I'm doubling down on WWE. It might just be my heart and not my head, because I want to see Damage Control versus the Four Horsewomen. It feels like Becky is in like a storyline that they could throw away next week with her and Nia Jax. And then you have Bayley on the other show getting kind of kicked out of Damage Control. So it would be 4-on-4 going into WrestleMania 40, I think. That's how I see it. Another piece of news that I'd like to talk about is Ishii. Ishii. I used to just call him Ishii, and then as the English commentators became more prevalent, they always said Ishii. They added like a little E. So I always have to make sure to add that in there. But he agrees to wrestle for Pro Wrestling Noah on January 2nd against Masa Kitamiya. That's going to be a banger. Same show that Marufuji versus Ibushi is on. So this big show that they do every year, that I've watched for the last like 2 or 3 years, is setting up to be another amazing show, which is what you need if you're trying to do something like this. 2 days into the year, 2 days before Wrestle Kingdom, you are going to do, a few matches. You're going to try your hand at doing some match of the year matches, which I'm pretty excited about. But let's go into it. We're going to talk about WWE NXT. We're going to be talking about AEW. We're going to be talking about it all. Maybe some New Japan here. But this week on NXT, Dragunov and Baron Corbin jaw-jacking in the middle of the ring with their main event this weekend. During the contract signing, Corbin was kind of fucking with Dragunov, bringing up his family, kind of trolling the champ, enough to have him almost flip out. That was kind of interesting. I think this might be the most interested I've ever been in a Baron Corbin match. We'll have to see this match. I don't want them to switch the title. We'll get into predictions a little later. Iron Survivor qualifying match. Fallon Henley versus Tia Hale versus Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James. James puts Roxanne through a table, taking them both out. Fallon Henley won. Never heard of Fallon Henley, but she wrestled in Shimmer and AEW before making her way into WWE. Roxanne and James brawl in the back, and then The Rock's daughter comes out. I guess she's like a GM or something. She must... first thought is if she's the GM, she must be really bad at wrestling. Because if she's The Rock's daughter, they're going to give her a lot of leeway. And if they made her the GM, I guess they just want her to be on TV prior to her hopefully getting good. Or maybe they've just given up on her and they still have her signed to a contract. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But she books this match. Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James at Deadline. Wesley comes out looking like Tiny Tim. He has a cane. He's got like baggy clothes. I know that's the cool thing, again, wearing baggy clothes, but he looked like Tiny Tim during Christmas season. Comes out looking rough. Dom comes out and treats him like shit. He's an ass as always until Dragon Lee comes out. Wesley, Dragon Lee, Dominic Mysterio can't get rid of these Lees. And all of a sudden, the NXT North American title is going to be on the line at Deadline. Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee. A little bit of Lucha Libre action here on NXT. Lexis King looks creepy as hell. Not just his over-prepped beard, but now he has like buzzed eyebrows. And the slow talking, the completely clean teeth. I don't know what the fuck is up with Lexus King, but if you want me to forget about Brian Pillman, I have. The only thing I think about is how creepy you look, dude. And he denies his involvement with this Trick Williams attack. So does Carmelo Hayes. But there is tension there. So what I'm thinking is Lexus King is causing this tension between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, two, otherwise good friends. We had a little bit of main roster action on NXT. Alpha Academy versus the Meta 4. 6-person tag. Otis gets scoop slammed by Lash Legend. That was cool. Otis then catches Lash Legend and kind of, enjoys it. He kind of, might be a little sweet on Lash Legend. And Maxine dives off of Gable onto everybody else. The ladies in the Iron Survivor match are all out at ringside, but I'm not sure who. I'm skipping ahead of myself here. I think Alpha Academy won this match, but the ladies in the Iron Survivor Challenge are all at ringside, bickering. Byron Saxton can't maintain order. They start fighting. And then we go to another match. Axiom versus Nathan Frazier. Went to a no contest. You couldn't keep these two guys in the ring. But also, the ladies that were fighting in the Iron Survivor Challenge match come out and brawl again. And then Nikita Lyons, the backside baddie, puts away the nunchucks and comes out off of the beach to whoop ass in the NXT ring again. Good for her. Nikita Lyons, internet sensation. I thought they were going to just bring her up. I would have brought her up in the Rumble with the nunchucks as the entrance. Tyler Bate versus Eddie Thorpe versus Carmelo Hayes versus Joe Coffey for the last Iron Survivor qualifying spot. Tyler Driver 97, boom, gets the win. What happened to Tyler Bate? He's been in the NXT system for 7 years. Dijak interrupts Tyler Bate, and so does Braun Breaker, followed by Josh Briggs, followed then by Trick Williams. They all brawl. Trick Williams is definitely the most over. He should win the Iron Survivor match, and then he should also be in that U.S. title tournament, I think. They still stay brawling. An hour later, they come out after the Dragunov Baron Corbin beef. But yeah, the NXT. We also have the NXT Breakout Tournament being announced. 8 new wrestlers. Abba Fima started wrestling in the PCs from Nigeria. Trackstar, he signed an NIL deal. I remember when they started the NIL deal, the NIL program, and I thought it was kind of a cool thing, bringing in a lot of athletes, training them how to wrestle. Not necessarily just athletes that just kind of say they want to wrestle. To do the NIL deal, you have to develop a relationship from 18, and you don't even come into the Performance Center until 2021. Riley Osborne wrestled a little in the UK before getting picked up by WWE, but he's from England. We'll see how he does. Keanu Caviar. Couldn't find shit about this guy, but he must be new, or maybe just changed his name or something. The only thing I could find out about him is that WWE copyrighted this name. Taven Heights, Performance Center standout. This guy's been on level up a bit. He's got some good size to him. He might be pretty good. Who knows? Dion Lennox also appeared on Level Up, but all I can really find on him is that WWE filed for a trademark. All these guys seem to be these athletes molded by the PC, so this is going to really be a showcase of what they can do down there. I'm kind of excited to see it. I mean, you have the Continental Classic already. You have the U.S. title tournament already, but this has a different feel because it's relatively unknown guys, and they're all going to be super athletes. So, is there a Dave Bautista, Brock Lesnar in this bunch? Is there, a Chad Gable in this bunch? Is there going to be guys that can just go? Or are there going to be just guys that can throw others around? We'll have to see. Miles Bourne, though, he's my favorite. Why? Because he is from Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'll have to read this here. It says that he has persistent pulmonary hypertension of a newborn, which is a treatable condition but one of the major side effects of this treatment is the loss of hearing, resulting in Miles being deaf. Well, damn. So they have a deaf WWE superstar here. I remember Fast Eddie, I think in ROH, he was legally blind back in the day. Of course, Zach Gowen, no leg, but deaf. Move over, Chris Statlander. I feel like those who practice American Sign Language have a new hero in town. We also have Trey Barrel. This guy makes me wish that JR still was in the WWE. He's, 6'4", 300 pounder from Oklahoma, football background. All these guys, yeah, they haven't proven themselves on international TV, but I want to see what they can do. I want to see pretty much what the Performance Center can do now. We also had Tatum Parley versus Lola Vice, two PC standouts. Lola gets the victory here on NXT to win the breakout tournament. So I wasn't even paying attention, but there was a breakout tournament already with the females that already happened that I didn't pay attention to, and Lola Vice won. Chase U, he gambled all the money away, so Chase University is out of funds, and it looks like they're pretty pissed at him about that, which makes a lot of sense. But let's go into the predictions here for NXT Deadline. We have Axiom versus Nathan Frazier. That match, wait. That match already fucking happened. I guess they're bringing it over here because it got broken up by the ladies' Iron Survivor Challenge brawl, which I don't mind it. I think that they're going to put over Axiom because Nathan Frazier is a guy that they kind of signed during the pandemic, where Axiom is like their kid. He was a kid in NXT UK, and now they brought him over as Axiom in NXT. And then we have the men's Iron Survivor Challenge match. I already told you who I think would win this, between Dijak, Trick Williams, Josh Briggs, Braun Breaker, and Tyler Bate. I don't think Tyler Bate or Braun Breaker need to win. I don't think Josh Briggs should win. But so you have it between Dijak and Trick Williams, and Trick Williams is the most over by far. Whoop that Trick Williams. And then you had the women's Iron Survivors Challenge, Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Blair Davenport, Kilana Jordan, and Fallon Henley. I don't know these ladies too well, but I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton because that's who I see people talking about a lot on the internet. Ilya Dragunov and Baron Corbin. I don't think it's time yet to take the title off of Dragunov, and I don't think Baron Corbin is the right guy to do it, so I'm going Dragunov. Dirty Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley versus Dragon Lee with Rey Mysterio in their corner. That's cool to see Rey going down to NXT, still participating when hurt. But I don't think they're taking the title off of Dom. They just kind of brought Dragon Lee up to SmackDown. I don't think they want him running around with a mid-card NXT title when they're trying to put him over in that way. Where Dominic is like, it's kind of funny that he's a little lesser than that. He kind of came from Raw down to NXT to win a title. So I think it's better for Dom to have the title. So I don't see any titles changing hands here this evening. Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James. I think Kiana James, didn't she beat Becky Lynch? So in the steel cage match, yeah. So I think Kiana James is going to win. Carmelo Hayes versus Lexis King. I'm cheering for Carmelo Hayes. This is my heart, not my head here, because Lexis King is creepy as fuck, and I want him getting taken down. So that's what I think of NXT. Going over to AEW Dynamite. Continental Classic, Rush versus Mox, strike battle, brawling on the outside, even in the crowd. Rush does the Ingobernables pose. Mox just does a roll through, pops up, flicks his ass off like a Moxley would. Mox diving on Rush, diving on the luchador. They just start talking on the floor, though. This kind of ruined a lot of the match for me. Like, they didn't even try to cover up their mouth here. They were just talking to each other right there on the floor. Bugged the hell out of me. Moxley chokes him out and gets 3 points. Mark Briscoe and Swerve, Fisherman Buster, 1-2. Swerve kicks out. Briscoe getting frustrated. I thought Swerve was going for the Swerve stomp, but he hit a 450. 1-2. No. Froggy Bow, knees up. 1-2. Briscoe kicks out. Swerve stomp. 1, 2, 3. Swerve wins and now has 9 points, tied with Moxley in, I think it's the Gold League. Briscoe mathematically eliminated after that match. Swerve and Mox in the back. They're getting into it with each other, getting into each other's face. They both have 9 points, just like I just said. And, we'll have to see what goes down. Lethal and Switchblade. Crowd chanting both these Jays. Jays forever. They're trying to get their shit in, trying to get themselves over. Lethal in control. Jay White gets the victory, though. Going into my overall thoughts on what happened outside the ring, Roderick Strong and the Kingdom, these guys are good in the ring. This was funny. This needs to go somewhere. And then he gets up. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe this is going somewhere. Maybe he is standing up. And we're going to get him and Adam Page next week. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Adam Page is back, though. Speaking of Adam Page, first time since Full Gear, MJF pops up. They start bickering. No love lost there from the very beginning of AEW. MJF accuses Adam Page of being the devil. Joe breaks it up, playing MJF security for the evening. Mariah May promo. I love this here because it's obvious Mariah May has a contract to go up against Toni Storm, but she kind of has this admiration for Toni Storm, is a fan of Toni Storm, so she's using it to get kind of close to Toni Storm as well. When is her first match? Renee asks, and she kind of snaps at Renee, says, "This is none of your damn business." But she's got I think it's going to be a title match. Joe and MJF versus the Devils, the Minions. Joe comes out, lights flicker after Joe. They're fucking with Joe in the ring here, 4 against 1. He doesn't know what's going on. Lights go out, they're gone. But then on the screen, MJF is taken out backstage with a glass bottle in the back of the head. Title laid out, blood splattered on the floor. But we didn't see the attack, though. That might be key to what's going on here. Joe runs to the back, and of course, the match doesn't take place. But breaking down every single match from worst to first. The last match, even though it might be my favorite match, Toni Storm versus Sky Blue. The guy from Turner Classic Movies doing the introductions here. That was great. Timeless Toni Storm. Sky Blue looking dark. The Miss has taken over her fucking mental frame here. You don't know what's going on with her. Crowd behind the champ. Running hip attack into the guardrail. Big zoom in on Sky Blue's ass. Sky Blue does a hip attack of her own. And then a big running boot. This was snug. So these ladies, they both have nice asses, but their asses can go in the ring. That's what I'm saying. Code Blue 1-2, kicking out of the Code Blue. That was her finisher. Jim Cornette would be pissed, but I'm loving what I'm seeing. Blue counters the Storm 0, but ends up getting rolled up. 1, 2, 3. Toni Storm wins. Music hits. Rio comes back. Toni Storm took her out, and Rio wants a revenge, but Luther saves her. I don't think this is good for Rio. Rio is looked at to be this star, but she was never as over as Toni Storm is now, and she's the face. So I don't think they're going to take the title off of Toni Storm. I don't think the crowd is going to be behind Rio like they think they are. So I don't think this is going to look good for Rio. I would say after that, Roosh versus Mox is the second worst because of the talking. I would put Mark Briscoe and Swerve as after that. And then I would put the main event, Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage. This video package before the match was WWE level good. They are usually they're using all the WWE tricks here. And that's standing out on an AEW show, I think. This feud has been great so far. Big fight feel as the bell rings. Smart to do this on TV because people flipping through the channels are going to be more interested in this than people maybe watching an AEW pay-per-view who really want to see kind of 5-star classics. There's no WWE PLEs this month either. Slow pace. A nice juxtaposition to the Continental Classic earlier on in the show. At some point, the crowd was chanting for, what did they say? like just chanting for chanting's sake here. They were kind of putting themselves over. I don't know how long these tapings were, but it does feel like the Jay Lethal Jay White match and the Edge and Christian match, there was definitely like a turn on the crowd where they were just chanting to have fun, chanting to get themselves over, chanting to just kind of not even pay attention to the show. Christian goes for the kill switch. Edge cuts him off continuously. Copeland goes for the spear. Christian leapfrogs the spear, hits the kill switch. 1-2. Adam Copeland kicks out. Ref gets caught up in the melee. And as he's like holding his eyes about to go down, Christian just low blows the fucking ref. Gets his title. 2 spears at the same damn time. All 3 men down in the ring. And then Nick Wayne's mom comes out. She picks up the title and clocks Adam Copeland with the title. This is straight out of some WWE Ruthless Aggression era shit. That's these guys' wheelhouse here. This kind of reminded me when Matt Cardona and Joey Janela had that super overbooked match in GCW with Hornswoggle and Matt and you know, all these run-ins and things, and it was like this is like a WWE style main event on a different show, on a different company. But that's exactly what happened. And then a big stomp on Edge's neck on the TNT title. Insult to injury. Emphasis on the injury. 1, 2, 3. Christian Cage retains a TNT championship here. In true shithead fashion, how will AEW officials handle this? Is Edge okay? Did Christian bang Nick Wayne's mom? So many unanswered questions here. Leaving AEW Dynamite. This was great. I love this match. I love this program so far, but it wasn't as good as the Jay Lethal Jay White match, despite the crowd trying to put themselves over. Jumping over to New Japan. Before we wrap things up here, we do have the finals of the World Tag League Tournament. No time limit World Tag League final. Yoshihashi versus Hiroki Goto versus Hikuleo and El Phantasmo. I gotta say that I think Hikuleo and El Phantasmo are gonna win. I just want that to win because Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto, you know, they've held the titles for a long time. I think they've won the World Tag League at least twice. I think that'd be kind of boring if they win. So this is my heart, not my head, but I want Hikuleo and El Phantasmo to win. They also have a match at Frontier Zone. Assassin and Kodiya Nazaki. I'm not familiar with those guys, but they're going to be opening the show. And Sanada, Okada, Tanahashi, Shingo are all advertised to be on the show. So this is going to be on Sunday. NXT is on Saturday. Looks like we got a good weekend of fucking pro wrestling. As always, fly high. I'm out.